Just imagine a building that's designed to collect rainwater that serves that purpose in your house.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the only thing that should go in a wastewater stream is black water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And of course, some of us think there should be no black water. Should compost it all. But what's cool about permaculture is there's a whole continuum of possible solutions. Another key principle, so we've got redundancy. We also want bang for the buck. So with redundancy, every important function like water, food, employment, and so on is served by multiple elements. You don't leave it, put all your eggs in one basket. With bang for your buck, you want every important element. Every element should serve multiple functions. You never have something for just one purpose. So, you know, we're big on having stuff with just one purpose in this culture because we have lots of land, lots of resources, plenty of space to build buildings. So we have all this space, we have all these resources. We build buildings that are in use for 8 hours a day and then not in use for the rest of the time, but still sucking up energy. We have roofs. We build roofs on our buildings, and the only purpose is to keep out water. You know, we could be getting more bang for the buck. Let's take that roof. What else can the roof do? Rainwater harvesting.
Solar.
Solar panels. What else?
Green roof.
Green roof. Gardening. And then let's take that green roof. What all can that green roof do? The green roof can filter water. What else? Cool the house, warm the house. It can be insulation. What else? Provide food. Provide human food. Provide habitat for animals. That green roof can reduce your carbon footprint. It can reduce the heat island effect. Cools the environment right there. Yeah. What else? It can provide, depending on how extensive and sturdy that roof is, it can be a little park. I've seen pictures of green roof parks. They're just parks built on top of buildings. And it's just a complete habitat. You'd never know that you were on a roof. So there's lots of stuff. Let's take another example, a real simple example. How about a trellis? Okay, you've got this nice trellis with vines growing up it. It's very pretty. That's, you know, people are big on pretty. Okay, it's pretty. That's the only thing it needs to do. But in permaculture, it's always doing something else. So let's see, Rosina?
Privacy out of the window.
Privacy out of the window. What else?
Shade.
Shade. Why would you guys think of shade so soon? Why would you think of that? And so privacy, shade, maybe a little bit of noise screening. Could help filter some air. Wildlife food for humans. A little bit of habitat. Yeah. You can do a lot with that. Even if all of your acreage consists of one apartment balcony, you can have a trellis and it can be serving all those functions. Has anyone seen those buildings, the new condo buildings on South Congress near Ruta Maya, with those big, fat, west-facing windows and no roof overhangs? I want to go, maybe somebody should start a small business over there setting up trellis gardens. That's another thing. Looking for patterns in the landscape. Business opportunity. All right, so that's very important. Redundancy, bang for the buck. Relative location. Things in permaculture, you don't want to just plop something down without regard to anything else. You want to get the most. It goes back into bang for the buck. You want to get the most out of it. So if you have a greenhouse, you know, you could put the greenhouse next to your dwelling and have it filter the air, have it screen out, have it buffer the noise, have it give you a little place to sit and drink your tea in the morning. Since this is Texas, the greenhouse should have big louver windows, or could be covered over, like the sunniest part of the glass should have some kind of retractable canvas or mesh or something. So it should be more than just a greenhouse. It should be a greenhouse, shade house thing for Texas. So the relative location, your compost bin. A lot of people say, okay, I'm going to put my compost bin way over there because it doesn't smell good and it attracts flies. Now I know you guys know better than this, I can feel that already, but some people would put their compost bin really far away. But why shouldn't you put your compost bin really far away? Because A, you have to walk, and you know, it could be that you want to do an exercise program, and it's okay to put something far away. I know truckers who park really far away from the truck stop so they can get their exercise walking, you know. So if you want to get exercise, you put your compost bin and get some exercise. But a lot of people who say they put it far away is because it smells bad or it attracts flies. If it smells bad or it attracts flies, you're going to want to know about that. And you're not going to want to antagonize your neighbors, because neighbors are a key part of permaculture design. You know, you've got to get along with everybody and network. And so find out why it's attracting flies, or find out why it smells. Most of the time when a compost bin smells, it just doesn't have enough cover matter on it, or some varmints got in there during the night and exposed that melon rind or that mess of avocado, and so it just needs to be covered back up again. And the closer it is to your house, the more likely you are to be able to monitor it and address that pretty quickly. You know, I've spent long periods with living right next to the humanure compost, and you don't smell it when it's done right. You know, Joseph Jenkins, the guy who wrote the Humanure Handbook, when it is done right, that thing could be sitting on your kitchen table. You would not know it. So there's a good reason to keep things close at hand. It needs to be visited frequently, and also you want to be able to make observations. So relative location.
Sorry, on the book, Jenkins, the Human what?
The Humanure Handbook. It's available online as an e-book.
For free, right?
It is free. I would recommend, it's a good read. You can read it online today, Joseph Jenkins, and then buy a couple of copies and give them to your neighborhood or public officials. Let's get the education out there. It's a really well-written book. He's got charts that show the different types of potential pathogens and how long they take to die at which temperatures, and how to get your compost pile up to those temperatures, get it to be thermophilic, nice and healthy. So that's okay. So in permaculture, it's not only the elements, not only putting good things into place, it's the number of beneficial relationships. So let's say you've got a chicken coop. Let's say you've got a greenhouse. Let's say you've got compost and worms. Let's say you've got solar panels or rainwater collection. Let's say you have all those things. The success of a design lies in how many possible beneficial relationships that you can construct between all those things. So let's say you start out in a typical, just a normal home in the suburbs, and you've got a little garden. So you start out with a relationship between, okay, we've got humans that are going to eat this food that's being grown in the garden. Then, okay, you add some worms. So the worms, they'll eat some of that food. They'll produce worm castings that'll help fertilize the garden. What else? Maybe some of the people who live in the house like to fish. I don't know if the worms that people are using for vermiculture are also the worms that fish would eat, no?
Well, fish will eat, yeah.
Yeah, fish will eat what fish will eat, so
Yeah, they'll eat.
there's some potential there. Yeah. What else? What else can you do? How can we add some more beneficial relationships? Oh, you can meet your neighbor. You can meet your neighbor that you've been living next door to for 15 years and say, hey, I've got some tomatoes. Here's some vegetables. And they say, oh, I've always wanted to garden. I don't know how. And I don't have any of the equipment. Oh, well, hey, you know what? It sits in the shed over here. Anytime I'm not using it, you can use it. Just give me some of your peppers when you finish growing those peppers. And you start.
Yes.
What's that?
Yeah, I used to
worms.
Give away worms.
give boxes of worms to people because I
Boxes of
produced
worms.
too many worms and people didn't know what to do with them. They didn't have a garden at that time.
Yeah.
You can also put a bird bath on to attract birds to eat the excess worms.
A bird bath to attract birds to eat the excess
But
worms.
see, they don't really, because if you just leave the worms there, they'll eat themselves.
If you leave the worms there, they'll eat themselves. It's a closed system. And then you'll have soil.
Perfect that way.
Wow, worms are sounding very perfect.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what? The birds need to be eating mosquitoes.
Yeah.
You know, they really need to get on that. So, actually, at my place, how many people have really bad mosquitoes? I have very, very bad mosquitoes. And are you noticing any frogs or purple martins? Notice anything eating them? Frogs? Dragonflies? Anybody seeing any dragonflies? Yes. One of my extreme bioregional friends told me he had heard that if you would eat 10 mosquitoes a day, that they'll stop biting you. And I was just itchy enough to try that one summer, and I